Okay. So Indian polity historical background, because this historical background helps us understand my constitutional institutions, how this constitutional institutions evolved. So that's why it plays a very important role. One thing is that we would have heard about questions regarding borrowing of constitution from different places, but before knowing what we borrowed, it's always better to understand that this historical background plays a very important role. If we could understand what is the historical background, how each and every institution of my constitution has come out. So simple question, it would be, I would be very pleased if you could have a conversation opened, and if you could able to type whatever questions I ask, that will be great help for me, because I love interactive classes. More interaction will be very welcome, and it will be more understanding also. Clear? Because what happens normally, you could ask my offline students, they say that if you ask more questions, more clarity I'll be giving you for the classes. More questions, better clarity. So it's like that. So interaction is a key for understanding subjects in a better way. Clear? So ask questions, ask doubts, more interactions. So it will be amazing for me to understand things. Okay, let's start. Now, before starting, can I ask you what a constitutional institution? Constitutional institutions. Have you heard about constitutional institutions? Yes, there are constitutional institutions. Constitutional institutions are: one, President is a constitutional institution. Two, Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. Three, Governor. Four, CM in his Council of Ministers. Five, CAG. Six, Election Commission. Seven, Supreme Court. Eight, Attorney General. Nine, High Courts. Aren't these are the constitutional institutions, right? We'll understand the background of these constitutional institutions, and once we understand this background of this constitutional institution, from where this constitutional institution started and where it has evolved, clear, that will play a very essential role. See, I'll ask you one more question. Try to answer this. One simple question this is. Okay. What would happen? What is the difference between constitutional body and non-constitutional body? What do you think is the difference between constitutional body and non-constitutional body? Simple difference. This body has a backing of constitution, backing of the constitution. What is the importance of backing of constitution? When any body which is backed up with the constitution, what would happen is it will have strength. What is the strength which it will have? Point number one. Nobody can stop its functioning, involve in its functioning. It will have independency in functioning, understanding. So this constitutional body, whichever has a backing of constitution or whichever is part of the constitution, will be very strong. It will be a strong body. Here, non-constitutional body won't have this backup. So anything you want to make it very strong. Example, your election commission. Example, your we can call it your CAG, right? These have backing of constitution. That way they'll be really strong. So backing of constitution plays a very important role. So whenever we are putting everything under the constitution, it plays a very important role and it makes it stronger. UPSC also, yes. So that makes this body very strong. Clear? So that's why constitutionality of any independent body will make it stronger. So we should make things constitutional. Example, I'll tell you, Panchayati Raj institutions were existing before 1993 also, right? But were they strong? No. The moment we put Panchayati Raj institution under Article 243 and we gave 10th schedule, 11th and 12th schedule, they became very stronger. They became independent. Nobody can mess up with that. So that is the essence of constitutionality, giving constitutional framework for any organization or an independent body will make it stronger, independent, so that political influence or regional influence will fall on that. Yeah. So we'll keep this background one. Second introduction I want to give. Do you know these three statements? Because today I'll be talking about these three statements. Responsible government, one. Second thing, dominion status. Third thing, sovereign state. Okay, have you heard these three things? Responsible state, dominion status, sovereign state. Responsible government, can we tell 1919? And didn't they, we wanted dominion status from 1927. We asked for British form promised us responsible government in 1919. We asked for dominion status in 1927, and we became a sovereign state in 1947. So what is the difference between a responsible government, dominion status, sovereign state? What is the responsible? What is the thing? How does these three things matter? See, I'll explain you one by one. Responsible government means British will stay, but they will control political affairs, administrative affairs. This is responsible government, but this political and administrative affairs will be for welfare of India. Will be for welfare of India. India and Indians. This we call it as responsible government. That means they will have all the powerful posts. They will take the decisions which are good for Indians. So we are not part of decision making. This is called responsible government. So from now on, we won't think about British. We won't think about growing British economy. We'll think only about Indian economy, growing Indian economy, thinking to resolve the Indian issues. This is called responsible government. Clear? So what is the dominion status now? What is dominion status? So we should understand dominion status because we asked for dominion status. So self-government will be given. Self-government. The self-government for Indians. Self-government for Indians will be given. But three things won't be given to Indians. Defense, they will take care. Then they will take care of communication. Then they will take care of foreign relationship. Everything else will be Indian. This is called dominion status. Isn't there is a difference between responsible government and dominion status? That means they will take, okay, education, prime minister, all of them will be Indian, except defense will be Britishers. Communication, they will keep it. Foreign relationship, they will keep it. So that means we are still dependent on Britishers. This is called dominion status. Third thing which I'm talking is sovereignty. sovereign or sovereignty. What is the sovereignty? That we do not depend on British for any decision, for any decision making, for any decision making. Everything will be under our control. Nothing will be under their control. So if I want to take anything, let's do like this. If I want to wage a war against British also, it's my own will and wish. If I want to not give British and citizenship, throw all the white people, whoever have a British or this thing, it is my will and wish. I take decisions. My decisions are not controlled by British, not the Queen, nor anyone. This is called sovereignty. So full independence is with me. I control everything with full independence. Full independence in my decision making. This is called sovereignty. Isn't this is the phases on which we moved in? I will start new topic which is related to background only. You'll understand things better. See, what we are doing is, this is called an integrated classroom or integrated understanding of polity. So you would have understood polity in a prelims way. You would have understood polity in a mains way. What am I teaching you is understanding polity in prelims, mains, and conceptual way. It's an integrated way. See, I'll make you understand now. Isn't this is the frame line? 1773 till 1857. What happened? British government grew. British government became powerful. So for Indians, what used to happen from 1773 till 1857? For Indians, what was happening? Indians were fighting individually, right? We were fighting individually, telling no British, or we were fighting individually against Britishers or against individual officers. We were fighting against individual officers. We never saw British as a threat, right? We never saw Britishers as a threat because we were never aware of these things. So what was happening? We were fighting against British officers, not a British whole. So now, so 1857 till 1885, we started fighting against British discriminations, right? Imagine all we did was fighting against British discrimination. We were asking British, you be our head, but don't treat us unequally. Treat us like your people. That was the only thing we did till this era. Give us equal importance. Let us be part of your decision making. Let us be part of your political system. That's what we were doing. British discrimination. So after 1885 till 1909, or to precise till 1916, because 1916 I want to keep it as who comes in 1916. I'll write for the conversation. This time period, what would I do is, I would ask Britishers one simple concept. Include me in your decision making. Both of us together let's make a decision making. Isn't that was the important thing? So include me in your decision making. Both of us will take care of the decisions. I will take care of the decisions of India. You take care of the decisions which are good for you, right? That was the negotiation we went. But can you see this after Gandhi comes? That's what happens after Gandhi comes. In the mainstream satyagrahas and all those things, won't the mindset of the people change? What is the mindset now? They will feel, why should Britishers think about themselves? They should think about us. They will demand for responsible government. Okay, This is Indian government. You're supposed to treat Indians with responsibility, give them infrastructure, give them studies, give them money, give them all these things. Responsible government. But after what happens 1927 onwards, we shout for dominion status. Dominion status. Till we call it Purna Swaraj in 1929, right? When was Purna Swaraj declared? When was Purna Swaraj declared? So dominion status will be asking. But 1942, when we started Quit India movement, why did we started Quit India movement? To have sovereign government. My India, I will rule. Who are you to rule? That is called sovereignty, right? So what I'll be doing after 1942 will demand for sovereign government. We'll get 1947 sovereign government of my own. Isn't this the time phase which we asked for Britishers? So till 1919 or 1927, we were okay with Britishers ruling us. We were absolutely okay with Britishers ruling us because we never had the concept of sovereignty with us. That means to administer us in the same time frame, didn't Britishers involve administrative institutions? Yes, they involve administrative institutions. Those administrative institutions became part of our constitution because after 1919, which they said that will give you responsible government, in 1935, they told one more thing. We will give you more freedom, elections, everything will be your involvement. Dominion status also we are ready to give. So they created institutions. Those institutions will be transferred to India. Those institutions are part of our constitution now also, right? When we see so many institutions are part of our constitution even today because they were used for administration. So knowing this background of these institutions, where they came from, how they have evolved, isn't that a very important thing to understand our constitution, right? It will play a very important role to understand our constitution. So this is one background. I will start another background. Listen to this. This will be a little story wise. You'll love this also. Britishers' policy over India. Britishers' policy. Okay. So Britishers' policy, because do you think I'm teaching you history? No, history is like much more deeper than this. What happens here is this is understanding of your constitution, why it came. Because both of them are linked. You should never study independently. While studying history, you should remember, okay, this is what made my constitution. While studying polity, okay, this what was happening in history. That's why this constitutional framework came. Now I'll tell you. 1773, who comes in? Britishers entered India. I mean, they'll start controlling, administering India. Okay. Now Britishers want to administer India. How would they administer? They are sitting somewhere else in UK. So in India, we are there. So they need to influence us. How can they influence us? Is there anything which is matching? Let it be culture, let it be language, let it be communication things or knowledge base, anything which is matching? No. So they need to communicate with us. So they decided there are two ways of communicating with Indians. Way number one, how can I communicate with Indians? Way number one, it says that I will understand their languages, their culture, and their region and religion. Okay, now, so these are called Orientalists. People who want to understand our language, our culture, our religion. They are called Orientalists. These Orientalists believe that how can I rule India, or how can I administer India by knowing them better. So they started knowing our history. Now, can I connect it somewhere back again? Because of these Orientalists who wanted to know Indian history, my Indus Valley civilization came. Because of them, my Vedic civilization, more things came into picture. Are you getting it? If you're getting it, put a thumbs up in the conversation. Clear? Indus Valley civilization came, Vedic comes in. Isn't this as the what happening? So these are going parallelly. Another set of people, we call them evangelicals. Evangelicals. They believed they believe evangelicals believed, you know what? They wanted to make Indians them. So teach English to Indians, teach their religion to Indians. Okay. Then they will understand our syllabus, our problems. So we can administer them. Right? Teach everything to Indians so that we can administer them. So these people, evangelical ideas were encouraged more. Why evangelical ideas were encouraged more? Because Britishers felt this is easy. What we will do, we'll select set of people. These set of people, what they will do, I will take them, I'll teach them Christianity, I'll teach them English, I'll teach them my ethics and etiquettes. After teaching them my ethics and etiquettes, they will be my messengers. They will go to rural areas, they will go to deep inside, they will spread my knowledge. Yes, that's what happened in Nagaland. Can you know? Nagaland, Manipur. So it worked out for them. Clear? So it worked out for them. So it was a good way. So evangelicals start this. We had Orientalists, we had evangelicals. Now, isn't this what started chaos in the society? Isn't which started chaos in the society, Indian society? What was the chaos which it started? Tribals felt their culture was hampered. Hindus felt Britishers are involving in their this thing. Islam felt their religion is getting diluted. Right? This is what led for your 1957 war also. I mean 1857 war also. So they did a mistake there. They did a mistake there. By involving themselves in Indian activities, by criticizing tribal culture, Hindu culture, Islam culture, and Indian culture as a whole, that put a black, completely devastating effect on Britishers. Suddenly, Britishers realized, no, I should not do this. When they realized in 1857 war, so maybe you'd have read war in a normal way. Just war, you'd have thought, okay, that is the beginning of freedom struggle. No, that is a beginning of different way of administration. They started understanding Indians in a different way. They started administrating us in a different way. Can I tell, if this war had not happened, they would have continued their evangelical way of understanding Indians or intruding into Indian lives. They would have continued that. Because of that war, they realize, okay, now I should be very careful. I should not oppose them. So that's why they turn up themselves and they start administrating in a different way. Clear? Clear this background also. Give a thumbs up so that I can start. So if this is clear, I left you yesterday till here only, right? I left you yesterday till here only. So I left you here itself. So what happens? War had happened. British realized it is not the correct way I should do. So it comes out to be rule of the company ends, because company will be only thinking about commercial activity. So if British was having to stay in India for longer time, to stay in India longer, we should not oppose them, but we should be part of them, or take them as part of me. Take them as part of me. Take them as part of me. That's what they did. That's what they did. They started. See, how was the scenario for India when? How was the scenario for British administration in 1958? Was so simple. There was Secretary of State in British. He is a cabinet member, right? Secretary of State is a cabinet member. Cabinet is part of the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers are under the British Crown, right? This was the scenario which was there in the British. So now it is in India how it was. Governor General was there. Governor General had two councils, Executive Council and Legislative Council. So Executive Council had four members. Executive Council had four members, right? We used to call them mini parliament, and Legislative Council had six members, and Secretary of State had 15 people to advise him. 7 are from COD, Court of Directors of British East India Company, and 8 of them are appointed by Crown. So this was the complete structure in administrative structure of British. Clear? In India and British. Now I'll tell you what they have decided after 1958 was. What they have decided after 1958 was to have 1858 was, sorry, to have Indians involved, right? They want to have Indians involved in the Britishers. So simple question, will they ever involve Indians in this British anywhere? Never. So nowhere in British Indians will be involved. Only Indians can be involved in this. What is this? Executive Council and Legislative Council. Now I'll ask you one more question. Will the Indians involve in Executive Council or Legislative Council? No. Executive Council, they will never involve Indians, because it has all the important portfolios like defense, law. Same way, can I ask you, we have all the MPs are there, 545, 245 MPs. So many MPs are there. In Council of Ministers, will they take anybody, or they will take only ruling party people? Ruling party people. They'll take only ruling party people. Again in that, they'll become Council of Ministers, right? Again in that Council of Ministers, who will be part of cabinet? Who are very close to Prime Minister. Same way, will I allow anybody who is not my party, even though there is a coalition party, will I make sure, see, now we have 4 to 6 people in my cabinet, right? Modi's cabinet will be there, 4 to 6 people will be there. Clear? So will I ever involve non-BJP person into cabinet? No, right? I will have only BJP people into cabinet. Same way, Governor General's very close affection was to Executive Council. Will he ever let Indians enter here in the beginning? No. No means no. Nobody will be there in Executive Council. So where can Indians enter? Legislative Council. Why can Indians enter to Legislative Council? That's what I want to tell you now. So isn't there is a difference between cabinet Council of MP of ruling party, MP of coalition party, opposition MP, and finally we'll have independent MP. Isn't this is the way we have structured ourselves? Isn't this is the way we have structured? Independent MP will be there. He is the weakest. Then opposition MP. Then MP in the coalition party. MP of the ruling party. Then Council of Ministers. Then Cabinet. So isn't this the structure? Even they followed something like this. So this Cabinet, there was a close people. So this make sure Executive Council is only for who? Executive Council is only for Britishers. Britishers. Clear? Isn't that a wonderful concept? That's why they never let anybody into them. So this is the best picture I could get. What can you deduce from this picture? Can we see that Britishers are taming that tiger? This tiger taming. Tiger is India, right? India's national animal. Same way they're taming the tiger. So they're taming the tigers and this Britishers. How could we can understand this? In 1958, 1957, they tamed us, right? They tamed us. That's what this means. So next, so Governor General position was changed into Viceroy. First Viceroy was Lord Canning. Then abolition of Board of Control and Court of Directors. Didn't I say Court of Directors and Board of Control was completely taken away? It was replaced by Viceroy and his council. There, 15 people, Viceroy and his council. Here, 1853 itself, we had Legislative Council, right? 1853 Legislative Council we had. The Legislative Council was going on. So, what does this picture depict? What does this picture depict? This picture depicts they are using Indians for their work. Britishers are using Indians for their work. So on that basis, I'll be starting another concept of Legislative Council. 1861 is not here. Okay. 1861 Indian Councils Act. Indian Councils Act. Why we call them as Councils Act? Why we call them as Councils Act? Because from now on, Legislative Council will be shuffled. From now on, every time, every 10 years or every 30 years, Legislative Council will be shuffled. That shuffling starts now. Okay. Now I'll give you one more amazing concept. Be with me, you'll understand things better now. 1853. What did I get in 1853? Legislative Council. This Legislative Council will have 6 members. In that 6 members, what I will do is 1853, in that 6 members, 4 members will be from provinces. Okay. So 4 members will be provinces. It is 1853. Can I write it 1853 again? 4 members will be from provinces. What provinces they will be from? What all provinces we had? Bengal, Madras, Bombay, and and what will be Agra? Agra will be the fourth provinces. One member from this will be added to the legislative council. So they're not touching anything about executive council, only legislative council. This was the scenario 1853. Clear? Now we will start. Now they've decided to change this council's movement. Now they've decided to change the council's collaboration. How they have changed? They started including Indians. They started including Indians in councils. Clear? Yes. First time, 3 Indians will be added to the council. Okay. Which council they will add Indians? Executive council? Never. They will add Indians only into legislative council. 3 Indians. Who are the 3 Indians? It is in 1861. 1861 this thing. Who are the 3 Indians? Raja of Benares, then Maharaja of Patiala, third Sir Dinakar Rao. So Indians entered. Didn't I tell there is a facing? So why we call it council? Because councils is getting reshuffled. That's why we call it councils. Now Indians are entered. We know why they're letting Indians in, so that they can have better administration. They realize Indians are not fighting against us. Indians are fighting because we are troubling them, not because they want to send us out, right? They never felt India is their land. Indians are fighting against us because I involved in their property rights. I involved in their cultural rights. I involved in their child marriage, sati, and all this. That's why they're fighting. Otherwise, they were not able to fight with us. They never hated us. They never wanted. They never said, "Who are you to rule us?" That's what Britishers realized. So before these people realize that who are you to rule on us, what I will make sure, I'll make sure there are enough Indians. If there are enough Indians in my council, people will think, okay, let's not think about, okay, who are ruling? Britishers and Indians are ruling over us. That idea won't come. That they will keep it as a base. That they will keep it as a base, and they will continue from now on. Clear? So on this, Councils Act starts. Another thing, process of decentralization start. Process of decentralization. Can now I tell? Federal concept starts. What is this federal concept starts? I'll explain you. Not exactly federalism will come. Exactly federal concept start. What is this federal concept starting? So decentralization happens in such a way that legislative powers for Bombay and Madras will be given. So from now on, Governor General won't be legislating. So Governor General has a Governor General Council, LC and EC. They won't be legislating Bombay and Madras. Bombay and Madras will legislate for themselves. So legislative powers are given for Bombay and Madras for themselves. Isn't that a decentralization? Isn't that a first step? First step towards federalism? Isn't that the first step towards federalism? Next thing, this is actual federalism. Legislative Council. Legislative Council for province. Province of Bengal, North West Frontier Province, and Punjab will be given. Clear? So now I will show you the scenario of India now. You'll understand it better. Show you the scenario of India. Scenario will be like this. There'll be India, Viceroy will be there. Viceroy will have Legislative Council, Executive Council. In this, we'll have portfolio system. That department ministries will be there. Under this, Indians are there. They make laws. These people execute laws. But Viceroy will have veto power for any law made here. This is in the center. In province of in province, what will be there? Which are the province? Bengal province, North West Frontier province, today's Pakistan, and Punjab. Here what will happen? Legislative Council will come. Third, we had Bombay, Madras, Bombay and Madras. What would have happened here? Here, governors will be there. Remember governors? These governors will have legislative power. So we have three Indias: Central India, Provincial India, Governors India. Clear? These are the three Indias we'll have. When we'll have, this is after 1961. From now on, one more amazing concept happened. Each member of Executive Council will be allocated with departments. We have departments like education. We have departments like agriculture, defense. So such finance, such things will be allocated for executive councils. Each member will be given executive council, will be given departments. We call them as portfolio system. Portfolio system. So where did we get our portfolio system? Whichever we have. What is portfolio system? Having Council of Ministers is a portfolio system. 1961. Right? Let's go further. So let's get back. Legislative councils were established in center and province both. So federal structure begins here because center is also there, province is also there. It provides Viceroy Executive Council should have some Indians. Yes, 3 Indians were there. According to statutory recognition of portfolio system initiated the process of decentralization. Legislative powers were given for Mumbai and Madras because they had governors there, right? Governors. Remember, governors were there. They were subordinate to Viceroy. We had studied this. Governors. So he'll get legislative power. So this is Executive Council. All white people. This is how Executive Council will be there with portfolios. So these are the people of the Executive Councils. Next comes one more concept. Before going for next topic, that is this 1892, I would want to teach you one more concept. You would have studied this in your history, but tell me what happens in 1885. What happens in 1885? Anybody? So something very important thing happens in 1885 that changes the structure. So something happens in 1885. What would happen here is this would change the structure. What happens in 1885? Anybody knows? Congress will be formed. Congress will be formed. So now Congress is formed. Congress is formed. Now, when Congress is formed, Congress was demanding British. Wasn't Congress demanding British? Yes. Why? What was Congress demanding British? Include Indians into them. Include Indians into them. Include more Indians into them. Or include Indians into executive council also. Executive council. Or can I tell, give more power to legislative council on budget, give more power for legislative council on budget. They were asking this. When they were asking this, isn't that will be considered by Britishers, Britishers to come out with Indian Council Act of 1892? So, what could you think will be in Indian Council Act? If you know this background, can we tell what could we think in Indian Council Act? Enlarged size of Legislative Council. So, Legislative Council size will be bigger. Enlarged function of Legislative Council and gave them the power of discussing budget and addressing questions to executives. Wonderful concept this is. Hold on to me, hold on to me. I'll ask you, sir, how many of you have finished polity reading one time? In that, isn't budget discussable by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both. But will Rajya Sabha have powers to override the budget? Because budget is a money bill. So budget they meant here is a money bill. So that means Legislative Council didn't have any power on money bill. But what they had is they could start discussing money bill. So didn't we continue from 1892 till today? Rajya Sabha have nothing to say with the money bill. It is purely left with Lok Sabha. Or can I tell other way? Executive will be having majority, so it is left with executives purely. So isn't this is what is existing in us even right now? But could they discuss budget? Yes. They can ask questions? Yes. So same thing we have here for us now. Token cut, policy cut, cut motions. Can you remember cut motions? Isn't these are the ways where normal MPs can control money bill? So that all started here. Okay, clear. And for first time, thank God, indirect election started. Indirect election started. Sir, you told me that in 1861, 3 Indians came. How did they come? They were nominated. They were nominated. So it was not elections. They were nominated. Clear? So I'll explain this article little more. We'll understand this article little more. What do you need to understand in this article? Act. Indirect elections. So where can there be indirect elections, sir? Can there be indirect elections for executive council? There are no Indians only. What elections for them? Zero. So can there be indirect elections for legislative council? Yes. So legislative council will go for indirect elections. What does this indirect elections mean? See, now that let's take there are some people. Let's take there are 10 people. So in that, 6 people will be gone for indirect elections. That would include more Indians, more Indians. So what they did before giving indirect elections, they enlarged legislative council. Why they enlarged legislative council? So that they can dilute, even though more number of Indians I can put in, I should have majority of my own people, Britishers. So in that way, they diluted. They made this central government had 12 people. They made it to 820. Provincial legislation had 8 members. They made that also into 20. Clear till you? They had 8 members. They made that also into 20. So clear till here. So indirect elections. Why we call this as an indirect election? Because, sir, what is universal adult franchise? Universal adult franchise. Everybody who is 18 years plus can have voting rights. Voting rights. Isn't this as an universal adult franchise? Everybody who has 18 plus has a voting rights. But in indirect elections, who had voting rights in central government? Have you read organizations before Congress? Before Congress came, organizations, few organizations were there, like Bengal Chambers of Commerce, Jamindari commissions, right? Associations made for traders. Remember, these people were there, right? Before Congress came, there were so many institutions. These institutions were playing important role. So in Central, they gave Bengal Chamber of Commerce. Bengal Chamber of Commerce voting rights. In provinces, they gave district boards, municipalities, municipality members will be there, university members, plus jamindars and other associations. So these, only these people had right to vote, and that also only male, no females. Only these people had voting rights. That too only males, not females. So isn't that a discrimination? Universal adult franchise is everybody. It starts here. That too indirect election. Why we call it indirect elections? Because it is only few. Adult franchise was restricted. Yeah. So 1892 Act is also over. Can we go for next act? Indian Councils Act 1909. Indian Councils Act 1909. What is this Indian Councils Act 1909? We call it as Minto-Marley reforms. I'll ask you a simple question. Who are these? These are Secretary of State and Viceroy. Where will be Secretary of State? He will be in British. Viceroy will be in India, right? Secretary of State will be in British. Viceroy will be in India. So who is Secretary of State and who is Viceroy? Anybody knows who is Secretary of State, who is Viceroy in them? So find out and tell me. Okay. Now what happens is, indirect election started in 1892, but direct election starts here. by direct election starts. Will they start direct elections directly? No. They need to increase legislative council members. Legislative council members, they'll increase. Yes. So they will increase to 60 in central. There were 20 people, they'll increase to 60. And in province, they will increase to 80. So legislative things are increased. And second step is more power for legislative councils. These legislative councils will get more power. That's why they'll change the names of legislative council into Imperial Legislative Council. Central legislative councils will be known as Imperial Legislative Councils. That means now they can move resolution for budget. Supplementary questions can be asked. What is a supplementary question can be asked? Okay, what is the supplementary? You'll understand better when I'm teaching parliament part. What would happen is normally we'll have starred question, unstarred question. Okay, so oral answer is required for starred questions. When it is oral answer, I can ask him cross questioning. Oh, how can you do this? So let's take I've asked a question for Amit Shah. I'm a MP. Only MP can ask. I can't ask. MP asked a question to Amit Shah. Sir, how much have you allocated for safeguarding our borders? Amit Shah will say 200 crores. So if I have supplementary question, I can question him. How we are spending this 200 crores? Right? That's a supplementary question. So isn't that supplementary question is a very important entity for legislative council to control the executives? Yes. That's why supplementary questions are added, and that is very important. That plays an important role. Next. Members of Central Legislative Assembly will be increased. Introduce a system of communal representation and separate electorates. Communal representation and separate electorates. What is this communal representation? Communal representation. And separate electorates. Here, understand this communal representation and separate electorates. You'll understand it better. What is our present system? There'll be one post. Okay. This post, what would happen is people will contest. People will contest for that post. So all the people, irrespective of religion, will vote for this. Whoever gets first past the post, FPTP will call it, they will win. This is present scenario. So I'll ask you the scenario under separate communal. Post will be same. Contenders will be different. So under Hindus, there will be contenders. Under Islam, there will be contenders. Okay, Hindus will vote for Hindus. Muslims will vote for Muslims. Clear? Now I will give you this understanding in a better way, because most of the students don't know how this works. So there is a post XYZ constituency. One post is there. Hindus are voting for Hindus. Muslims are voting for Muslims. So population is 70% and 30%. Okay. Voters. Hindu voters are 1 lakh. Muslim voters are somewhere around 40,000. Okay. Now, how many contenders from Hindu for this post? 10 contenders. How many contenders from Muslim from this post? One or two maximum. Clear? Now, voting will happen. All these 1 lakh people come and vote. So all the votes will be divided among this 10 lakh people. The person who has highest vote will be 16,000. But here what will happen? 30,000 votes will be given for one Muslim candidate. So who will win the elections? This Muslim candidate who has 30,000. He has more than the Hindu candidate. So he will be the MP or MLA from this constituency. Understood? How does your communal electorates or separate electorates will happen? Clear? This is how separate electorates will happen. Normally, our election system is different. This is different, right? Now you're understanding how it is benefiting Muslim leaders. This one. This is how it is benefiting. They have less competition. So there are unification of Muslim votes will happen, but in Hindus, votes will be divided. That's why they will tend to take more posts. More posts. Clear? Clear. Thus they started. And one more important thing happens here. What is that? Another important things. Indians, for the first time in the Viceroy Executive Council. So we had Indians were in Legislative Council, but for the first time we'll have law member, that is Satyendra Prasad Sinha will be the first Indian to enter Executive Council as a law member. See, here also they didn't give him military. They never gave military for us, So even after Mountbatten comes, Mountbatten plan also, they are told Viceroy and Army Commander in General will be British. Everything else you keep it. Wrong, right? They never gave up the military position to anybody till they left also. So here also they never gave up military position. Clear? Next. So any doubts till 1909? So who is the communal electorates, father of communal electorates? Minto will be father of communal electorates. Can we call it like that? Minto is a father of communal electorates. So this will be for today. Tomorrow, we will discuss remaining things. And tomorrow means Monday, next class Monday. So it is to inform you that these were the free classes which had happened. Anyone want to enroll for the courses, you can contact Manoj sir. You know the contact number, I feel. So if you don't know, I'll put the contact number again in the group. So you can contact the Manoj sir. So Manoj sir will give you separate login details for the next class, which will be on Monday, which will be for 2 hours. For that, you need to enroll for this course. Okay, people who are interested and like this module can enroll for this. Once this module gets over, we will start with another module. It can be ethics module, whichever will be next. Or you can enroll completely for IGP module, which is IGP course, that is integrated GS program, we call it, where prelims come, mains come, interview program will be integrated together and will be taught. So we have already finished 2 batches. Third batch we have started. You can enroll to third batch if you want to enroll for integrated GS program. These classes will happen right now, offline, online only. Once the coronavirus lockdown goes away, we can have this offline classes and online together will be going on. It will be classroom courses once the COVID-19 lockdown ends. Till then, only will be holding online classes. People have flexibility to go for online also, offline also after the COVID-19 scenario ends and we can start it. Clear? Any doubts till now? I would allow people to ask, raise your hands and ask for the, you can ask for any questions either by raising hands or you can ask any questions on the conversation platform. So no doubts. I hope there is no doubts of any sort till now. Or if you are not able to ask here because of your laptop or this thing, you can feel free to ask anything in the our WhatsApp group. There also, I would happily help you out. Here, on this note, can we wind up the session? On this note, can we wind up this session so that we can meet again? So let's wind up on this session. Have a great day. All the very best. Study well. Stay safe, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.